the first release to now Call of Stones. And it had, there are some big kind of changes, additions. So I'm just wondering with the autos and the special characters and how you guys, was that always the plan to do that?
No, it wasn't always the plan. It was one of those things as you sit around and you look at, like, where can you find catalysts to be different? Because if all you are is Magic, but you do this thing, like, that's not going to get you very far. And the TCG roads past are just littered with games that they were a fork of Magic, right? Like they didn't, the games are, I'm not saying the gameplays aren't different. A lot of them are, but they're still like, you go back and look at them. What was their thing? Like, what is the thing that made them different? And when you look at where success is today, like, most of the time you come in and you either have a IP that's already established and you put that on a CCG. That's what One Piece is. That's what Riftbound is. Riftbound is from League of Legends. Like, without that IP, what would Riftbound's game engine be? I don't know. People say it's a good game, but there are a lot of good games. You take away that IP, and it's not. It's a shell of what it is with the IP. Flesh and Blood was very unique in that they hit with a competitive scene at the same time COVID was around, and they were the ones willing to take the risks of having events when other people wouldn't. There was a large segment of the market that embraced that, and it really kind of galvanized Flesh and Blood as this in-person play when everything else was kind of shut down around it, and that gave them a really strong competitive position that still exists to this day. But a lot of what else is there are just these games that are small, and they don't ever really find a way to break through, and they just don't ever find that catalyst that really helps elevate them to the next level. And even though we have Brian Tisman, who may be a great game designer, there are a lot of great game designers out there. And like, I don't believe that in this era, your odds of success just on the back of good gameplay are very high. You have to have catalysts that can push you forward. That's where the celebrity idea circulated in, is like, why can't we were watching what Magic was doing with Universes Beyond. I know neither of you are necessarily Magic collectors, but I think you probably have at least an understanding that Magic has two types of sets. One is in-universe sets where they use their legacy IP, worlds that they created, dragons they created, characters they created. And then you have their Universes Beyond where they do the same game mechanics, but they do it with other IP on the cards. And that can run from something that feels very Magic-y, like Lord of the Rings or Final Fantasy, or it can feel quite disjoint, and it can be SpongeBob, or it can be Dwight from The Office and kind of like some weird and wacky stuff, or Spider-Man, which kind of maybe a little in the middle. And what you then find is that clearly they're making a lot of money. We can see that because Hasbro is a public company, and we see we see like what the Final Fantasy set did. We see what the Lord of the Rings set did. I mean, they made buku money, but they also have a certain amount of their fan base that they're definitely turning off by hodgepodging all this back together. And we said, look, what do we want our IP to be? Because one of the things that we actually have a strength in, we actually have a strength in deal making and business development. Like we can go get brand partnerships. Like we're like, between my world and what I've done for years and years on the ad and marketing side, I mean, most companies that I would want to talk to, I'm 1 degree separated from a pretty good referral into that company. So if we wanted to go the Universes Beyond route, I feel pretty confident we could get some really nice IPs. But we didn't feel that was what was right for Wonders, because Wonders it's this shared IP vision with our community, with what we've done with the proofs and all that. I won't unpack all that here. You guys understand that. And we wanted to stay true to that world, but we also wanted to have some things where we could have a little bit extra oomph, if you will. And that's where bringing Tom Felton in, turning him into Valen Voss, making him a character in our world, letting him then autograph cards, which no one had ever done that. I like doing things that nobody else has done before. It felt like a really nice shot on goal. And I think the market seems to kind of like it now. I think they'll like it more when they get it in their hands. It's one of those things where until you pull a stone foil, you don't know what it feels like to pull a stone foil. Until you pull an autograph card in your product. And again, a lot of these people that are in Wonders, they're not used to pulling autographs out of products. Like, in that world, I'll just tell you how different it is. The game Riftbound, people were talking about pulling signature cards, and I was like, oh wow, signatures, cool. Like, what can I hit? And they're like, oh, you can get artist signatures. And I was like, oh, okay, some of these artists that do Riftbound stuff, that's pretty cool. It's not. It's a freaking, like that thing behind text. That's not Ken Griffey Jr.'s autograph. We printed that on there. He didn't sign that. That's what the autograph is.
Oh, that's an autograph from Riftbound?
Yes. They call it a signature, and they get hyped about it. They are more rare. They have the artificial scarcity around them. So they're more rare, and they look cool, but they're not a real signature. So it's a facsimile. There are Mickey Mantle cards that had facsimile signatures on them. The market never valued that, right? Like, it's just part of the art, right? So I think why those cards are valued is not because of those signatures. They're valued because of the scarcity of them. With ours, we're going to have the real ink, and I think that's going to be cool. And I think it's not a huge set. Like, collecting one autograph of each Stone Seeker, you're talking, a big handful of cards. It's not an impossible thing to get. Mm-hmm. And the autographs are going to be rare. I want to make sure I keep saying that over and over, because we're not treating this like a sports card product. I think too much of a good thing could get out of hand really quick. Mm-hmm. Like, we want you hitting an autograph in Wonders to be rare. We want Tom Felton himself to get out of the way and let Valen Voss shine. And then occasionally up pops the autograph, and you break that fourth wall, and you're like, oh, that Tom Felton played that character. He signed that card. But that needs to be the exception, not the rule. So you're not going to see these things popping out left and right. Even in Dragon boxes, they're going to be rare.
How many autograph signers are in Call of the Stones?
I don't know if we fully disclosed that yet. I can't remember what we've disclosed and what we haven't. So I'm not going to answer that. I'm not going to answer.
Okay.
That. I can't remember what we said. Okay. It's not a ton. It's less than 10. Less than 10.
Okay, I was going to say, I thought there was 8.
Off of the top.
8 cards, but not all of them were confirmed.
Yeah.
I know of 4.
Characters.
It's a big handful. It's a big handful. I know there's one character, because we didn't show him because I wasn't 100% sure that everything was going to come through with him. It did come through. His character is sick, and I love it. And I can't wait for y'all to see him. We haven't disclosed him yet, so he's still available. He's not a big, huge star. He's not a little star. I mean, he's a little older, but you'll like it. And the character is sick. Like, he's so sick, and so there's still some surprises left.
So for the signers for the cards that are signed, do they all have? You've stated over and over that it's going to be a low number of autograph cards.
Yep.
Do they all have the same scarcity, or is Tom Felton more rare than Ben Affleck?
No, they're ballpark same rarity.
Okay, so they're all basically the same.
Yeah, we had to toss out some of Affleck's signatures because, God, he was pretty rough on signing. Like, so there was just some stuff we didn't want hit that he had signed. But yeah, they're all in the same ballpark. They're all okay. Yeah, some of these folks are a little more. They're a little more diligent when they sign than others. It's just the way it goes. You see that in sports too.
How is that? Is that
Affleck was a very fast signer? I'll just say that.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Was that a different? Is that a different kind of conversation or road to go down for Wonders than it is for the athletes in Boba?
Night and day different. Night and day different. Hollywood treats this completely different. It's very transactional in the world of sports. It's endemic to what they do. It's not endemic to being an actor. So the deal structures are very different, and it's night and day different.
Okay, and this is something that you think, is this going to be like a wait and see if we want to continue down this path for the next set?
It's like anything else that you do the first time. Is the market fit there? Do people love it? Right. And it's like one of those things where it's like, if we do this and the market doesn't love it, the game is still there that everybody loves. And this just becomes a piece of ephemera from our past. And probably nothing makes those Valen Voss cards worth more than if we said, yeah, that didn't go great, we're not going to do it anymore. And we're only going to stick back to our characters. And all of a sudden those probably go up. My hope is that we can continue it, because I think it can be a great catalyst for, when he hasn't posted on social media yet. He hasn't done any of that. And that his deal does have more of that than what would normally come with an athlete deal, because the numbers have to be, you have to work the numbers, and part of working the numbers is what does the total deal structure look like. So that's why things like appearances and then social posts and stuff on top. So there is more marketing catalyst built into the deal. And and that's what I'm the most anxious to see from my side, is like, what's that really going to do when Tom goes to activate to the Harry Potter horde, who right now most of them have no idea we exist. What's going to happen when he tells them it exists, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm really interested to see how that goes.
See, I think now with the new Harry Potter coming out with the kids, now I think you have to get the younger.
Yeah,
Tom Felton.
We want to be, so like, that's also a bit of a double-edged sword. Like when you look at, say, Arnold Vosloo, and people, does he go by Arnie, or does Scott just call him Arnie? He always says Arnie Vosloo, like they're boys, or something, like he's known.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't. We looked at different character concepts for him, and I was just like, we're not going to copy the Mummy, but this guy just he has to be from Umberthine, right? The Mummy was more like Helios, a desert dead guy, whereas Umberthine's but he feels very at home in that. Like I feel like that's a great place for him. But like we're trying not to typecast everybody. Like we tried to miss Malfoy with Valen
in the whole
right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why we put him in Boundless. That inherently made the colors more white and gold and more regal. We did give him his trademark gold locks, which I thought were just a little bit. I thought those were important to the because we do want the box when somebody walks by it in Target, we want it to trigger. Oh wait, is that Tom Felton, or is that Malfoy? Yes, it is. What is that? That's what you need. Is you just need to stop the scroll. And whether that's a scroll through a social media feed, or whether that's a scroll walking past a card aisle, you just need to stop them long enough to then take a look, right? And then they can pull out their phone and investigate and decide if they want to get it. Next thing you know, they're at home, they're playing it. Next thing you know, they're at an SCG con, or they're coming to the Shattering, right? That's
did he have any input or pushback maybe on like what you were just saying, his character possibly being too similar to the Draco Malfoy character?
We talked about it. We talked about it up front, and I think we didn't send him. There was one card we sent, and he said he thought that one may have been too Draco, and I didn't see it, but
so he was conscious of it though. He was aware that you weren't trying to copy Draco Malfoy.
Sure,
that you wanted to make this completely a separate.
Right. Yeah, we discussed that up front.
New character.
That was part of the upfront discussions, and I'm trying to remember what was it that triggered the Draco vibes in that card, because it wasn't even dark colored. I don't remember, but it was something. He was like, yeah, I think that one may be too Draco. And I was like, all right. It was, I can't remember, but yeah, he's aware of it for sure. And we're aware of it. We're not, again, I don't want to bring Harry Potter into it. So I wanted to bring the celebrity Tom Felton in to play Valen Voss. I mean, look, do I have visions that this is really successful and we've already got our Netflix series cast? Yeah. Like,
I just want to be in the background.
I'm putting on the scene. I mean, I'm putting that on
the extras.
Yeah. Can I be killed? I just want to be killed in a scene.
If we can grow, you'd be like, was it Travis Kelce was in Game of Thrones, or one of the NFL players?
Yeah.
Battle scene, and he got hit with an axe one time.
Yeah.
But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I daydream about those things. That if we're really successful and this was a catalyst set for us that really caused a lot of the spark and the explosion, could there be sure there could. I mean, certainly none of that's in talks. Like, that's not like none of that is remotely like on the radar. Like, I'm not talking to anyone about any of that, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't see it. Like, it's there. If everything's successful, somebody could easily then, if I think if Magic does it, which they've been working on a Magic movie forever. Like, they have to cast Jace. Like, they have to decide who plays Jace, right? Like, we've already put the Tom Felton in the thing. The actor's right there. And if they like, well, we have a really good relationship with Affleck. All right, well, then fine. Book Affleck and let's tell the story of Roman Silvershot. So, like, that would be super cool. But And I think there's just a lot of interesting things that can come from having the celebrities in the game. And so to answer your question, Jen, I hope that it will continue. I hope people will like it. And the one thing about Wonder is the world's really big. There's a lot of other characters. We were actually going to try to cast someone as a character that was a little bit less obvious that it was them. They were going to be more of an ogre and you could see their face. We actually sent concepts over. I'll tell you who it was. It was Woody Harrelson. We sent the concepts over, and Woody was, you could tell it was him if you looked really close, but he looked like a big ogre, and like you could tell, yeah, there's Woody in there. But we wanted to try to do one that wasn't just straight humanoid. That's clearly Woody Harrelson. He didn't tell us no. It was some logistical things that didn't work out. He was doing other stuff. So we may circle back to that, but that's another lane that we could go down. So you may see some future castings where there's a celebrity that's kind of in there, but they're not just a straight human like Silvershot is, like Balin is, right? Or Drago or Bone Lock as Chuck, which I freaking love that one. That one's so cool.
Yeah. That's a pretty wild art.
I think that's a really interesting one for us if people take an interest in Wonders. Brian is really big into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And, that's kind of why we put Liddell in, even though he was an athlete, not an actor. It was like kind of cool to get somebody that had that same interest as Tinsman. He's going to do some social promotion stuff for us, and we've got some other stuff that's in his deal that we can utilize as leverage. And I think Liddell is a cool one for us too. I think he's just on his face. He's my second favorite of the celebrities, just straight on their face. It's like, it's sort of just cool factor. I think this other one that I was kind of teasing you about, I feel like that one's a little cooler, but Chuck's character's pretty cool.
Snow outside the windows, laughter in the room, wonders of the first reminds us making plenty from too few. Stories told in good faith, hands lay side by side. Wonders of the first is built in moments we provide. Every seat is welcome, every seat is welcome, every voice